Hello everyone, welcome to Geeks 19 for this class, which is called Next Destination. We will be using the Stamping Up Next Destination stamp set. So thank you for joining me. My name is Rochelle Laird Smith and I'm from Stamping Flair. I share paper crafting inspiration and ideas, and I'm a Stamping Up demonstrator based in Melbourne on the Mornington Peninsula. Excuse me. Today I will be sharing a card with you using the Next Destination stamp set, as I said, and this is the card we will be creating. I will be sharing with you lots of coloring tips, how you can get some beautiful shading using watercolor pencils. We have some great watercolor pencils in our range. We will not be watercoloring as such, but just how you can get some lovely shading. I have done some preparation on already, so we can run to time. But please ask me any questions as we go along. I am happy to help you. And if you don't have a Stamping Up demonstrator at the moment and would like assistance with any products, or if you have just any questions about card making or paper crafting or techniques, please give me a call. I'm only too happy to help you. So I will just give you a close-up on this card so you kind of know where we're headed, and I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. First up, I'm going to show you some of this designer series paper which I've used on the back. Now this is a free earn during Celebration. Celebration is our sale which runs till the 29th of February, and with every $90 you spend in store, you will earn a free product from the Celebration catalog. So this is the paper that I've used, but I'm going to flip it over. This is what's on the other side. They're beautiful birds, and it's called Flight and Airy, and it's a freebie. And you can choose this paper free with a $90 order. There's no limits to how many products you can choose. The more you buy, the more you can choose. So that's one side. This is the other side. So it's sort of watercolored and flowers and different. And some birds you can fussy cut. And this is what we're using today. And you're probably going, why didn't you use the birds? And I did try. I tried my best, and it just wasn't happening for this card. It just didn't look right, and I went with my gut on this one because I really wanted this sort of vintage look. So the first thing we're going to do is stamp a couple of images. I'm just going to show you what I did. So stamp your the hat box in petal pink, right? Mine's fairly juicy because I just inked it up a couple of days ago, so it's quite strong. That will lighten up as we go along. And I am stamping the little backpack in early espresso. Now don't worry, I have fussy cut them and have it all ready to go, so we do not have to do that right now, but I just wanted to show you the process. So now for our coloring, always have something with a bit of cushioning, like maybe an exercise book, so you've got some padding underneath when you're coloring, especially your pencils, color pencils. It gives you a better blend. So I've got my two images. Now I am using both sets of watercolor pencils, and I do have the older set, so of the set one. The only color that you probably would not find in the new set is Crush Curry, and you will be able to sub that with Pecan Pie, which is in the new set. So don't worry, I'm minimally using that one. So for the petal pink, the hat box, put that aside. I'm gonna go with Calypso Coral, and let me flip that around, and I'm kind of going with the markings, the stamps make it easy for us. You don't have to be an artist. Just, it does give you idea where to add more shading. Like you can see darker there, but I just like to add a bit extra and get more depth here. So I'm going with that, and go with those lines as much as you can. And with shadow, that's obviously where it's darker, and it's going to be lighter here. And underneath the box, like towards the bottom, is going to be a darker, because your light's hitting from top. So it's automatically going to be a little bit darker under here. Anything under there is going to add shadow as well. So I am adding a fair bit of color here, and with Calypso Coral. It's a tone, Petal Pink is like in the same tones of your Calypso Coral, and I'm just blending that right to the edges. And then I'm going to bring that in there. I do take a little bit of time with my coloring. I feel that if that's my focal point, I really want it to look good, and it's something that I enjoy doing. I'm going to bring in Cajun Craze, and here I'm going to add, there's going to be depth there. And I'm going very light. You can go darker as you go, but just go light and build up that color. Now here I'm using a light touch. Let me just bring that in. And sometimes I do this and then I forget to pull it back. And I'm going to go in circular motion where I want that a little bit darker there. And define that line a bit on the side. Now I've got early espresso. When you've got a color pencils, if you need to sharpen them, don't use them on a pointy tip. Go with the more of a blunt, not a blunt, but take the edge off. So I've drawn in a bit of shading there. This is going to be a bit of early espresso through here on that. I cannot get the word. Cord? No, it's not a handle. Strap. And I am adding that depth there. As you build up, you'll see this picture. It's already got enough, but like I just like to add something so it brings it to life a bit. Now you see this camera, it's just sort of one shade. I'm just bringing in that, highlighting the lens. Again, bring in the Calypso Coral to define it a bit. And we can go, just do it lightly, but you want some definition. Again. Okay, on this, I'm going to go in lightly with early espresso. And when you're using a few colors like this, you may not remember exactly, and I can tell you that because when you're blending, you tend to change it up a bit sometimes. But now I've got Cajun Craze for the bottom of that box, like in the middle where it's closing of the box lid. So you're going to have darker color at the bottom section and a lighter color up the top. So bringing that Cajun craze there. So if you've got other colors, you can just mix and match it. The Stampin' Up watercolor pencils are soft, so they're nice to blend. All right. Now again, I'm going with a bit of definition around these clasps or the buckles. Then I brought in a bit of Daffodil Delight here, just for something a bit different and to show difference. And it does an early espresso. So that was, I just went in with Cajun craze, and now I'm going early espresso. So I'm going to color the top bit a bit more with Calypso Coral. I am doing it a little bit faster than when I did my original, because I do want to show you some other tips. Okay, not too bad. Again, I'm defining this, so you will have some shadow under that handle. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in Basic Grey. Basic Grey is a great color just to give you that extra bit of depth. Now under this cover, I'm adding that a line to show, to define the shadow of that cover. I'll do a little bit here and a bit here, and I'm gonna bring in some early espresso along there. Just work with it till you're happy, and I could mess with coloring for hours because I just love it. It's something I really, really enjoy. If you can't tell. Okay, so from the bottom, I'm going to bring in this Cajun craze because it is going to be a bit darker at the bottom because the light's not hitting it as much. All right, now for the book, I went with, this is Coastal Cabana. Oh, forgot about this little bit up here, which is the box. So Coastal Cabana here. And here. Then I added a little bit, this is Night of Navy, I added that at the end. But I just added a touch of Balmy Blue. And I did little circular motion there to get that beautiful sea blue kind of color. And I'm going to go over that so it blends. And take it right to that edge so it defines it again. Bringing in Cajun craze and some early espresso so that book has some definition. Now I'll bring in Night of Navy sorry, not of navy. And this is where I wanted to add a bit of depth, just a touch. And I'm going back with Coastal Cabana and blending that in, okay? So always look at what you can, how you can add definition, and it makes a difference to your project. Now, a bit of definition there, and the book's overhanging the hat box there. So again, I will bring in my basic gray, just add a touch of shading there. So extend that out, and you've got your little book. All right, so now for my backpack, similar colors, except I add a bit of crushed curry. So in this, you can substitute with pecan pie. I'm going to do a fairly quick job on this. I'm adding the darker section on the left. And this is going to be darker, this middle section, because it's in between, and it's of course going to have a bit more shadow, and it's hidden. So by nature, these sections would be not exposed as much to the top bit. So I'm going to add a bit of depth there. Now I'll just add crushed curry. This is the one that's not available with the new set, but you can substitute with, I think pecan pie would be fine. Or you could even do definitely light. It is a bit brighter, but muted. I'm going to add that. I sort of went backwards there, but it works. Okay. And this would be more depth and more darker because it's hidden under. Same with these sections. So that's the back panel. And I'm normally going light. I'm just trying to do a bit of a speedier job. So here I will add the more Calypso coral. I'm going to bring in some Cajun craze. It's always nice to have a bit of depth, and here I'm going to add some Cajun craze as well. So right here I'm going to add in the shadows like I did before. Now here I'm trying to change this color a bit so that it's a little bit different to our hat box. So by adding that crushed curry or the pecan pie, you can do that. It's a more vintage kind of card, this one. I'm going for a sort of those, you know, those backpacks that are that leathery look. All right, so I bring this in. This is early espresso, and I just wanted a bit of darker color there. Color that in. Bring that in. Yeah, this is my quick job. All right, we'll bring in basic gray here, just for my a bit of extra shadow there. Cajun craze. and some crushed curry there, just to blend that in. Okay. And I will add some shading on that right side. So, because you've got the buckle there, and you do want to define that a bit. And you want to make it look like it is a 3D picture, or it is a backpack that's standing out. Right, so then I'm just going to go over it with a bit of early espresso. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm messing around too much. Okay, so now for this piece, this is the Everyday Details bundle. It has, these are the dies, so that if I highly recommend the bundle. The bundle has, the stamp has beautiful stamps, but the dies, I should say, have really great like rectangles, borders, circles with details, so you can really use it well. What I did was I stamped the some words. Now this is one stamp. Here we go. Let me just pull that apart back a bit. It's one stamp, but I cut it apart. Now cut a stamp so you can get, don't be afraid to cut it, but just do one cut so you can put it together if you need to. So I've got this, and I stamped these words here and there just for some fun, and it gives you a nice little background. Just take it off the page. It gives more versatility by me doing that, right? I could have kept it as it was, but it now I'm able to do things like this. Now, then all I need, if I want the sentiment, I just put it back together and I'm good to go. So I'm going to blend some petal pink ink around the edges. Now I felt it was a bit too, excuse me, too orangey. So, and I think what happened was initially, because I was wanting to use the birds, I was trying to match the designer series paper, which had some pink in it. But I really like the look of this. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to use Bubble Bath on top. So it's going to give you like a nice shaded, come up with a new color. It doesn't matter that you haven't got pink on anything else, but it just adds a bit of change. So for assembly of this card, I might just show you. This piece is petal pink, which I've embossed with the stripes embossing folder. It is part of a pack of stripes and splatters. I have used pecan pie ink, a sponge dauber. Now a sponge daubers come in a pack of 5. It's just like you put a finger in, it's got a hole in there. So just go like that. it's gonna highlight your, just the lines. Just add a bit of color, and it's another nice detail to add to your card and gives it a vintage feel. I'm going across because then it's picking up all my embossed lines. You can go this way. I don't think it matters too much. It just was easier for me this way. Much of it will get covered, but it just did add something to my card. So for assembly, birds, this side. All right, so we're going with just gluing this on. If you aren't a newsletter subscriber, you may like to subscribe to my newsletter. I do send one at least a week. My main one has a free tutorial in there every week. You get lots of ideas. I share lots of inspiration. It's a fun newsletter. It's not one of those boring ones. Lots of ideas, tips. So I'm just gluing these on. Oh. Then I've got this, which this is our designer series paper, which this is the Subtles range. We have in every range a pack. So if you just want the basic colors, it's good to get a pack of these, because then you get all the basics without any too much pattern as such. So I've tailed that, added that. So I think everything on my desk has legs. So adding dimensionals, putting it there, and then, ooh, I forgot to cut that bit off. And I'll just stick this down, and then I will show you, obviously you can see the finished card, but I will show it to you again so that you can see how I've done it. I won't do too much. I had already heat embossed the sentiment, which was here, and this is where I put the whole thing together. So the sentiment, I'd cut it apart, but I was able to put it together. And so even if you cut apart your sentiments, don't worry, it'll go back together. So again, here I am just putting dimensional one side, glue on the other, sticking it, there, right in the corner, and I've stamped it on Pecan Pie. Just a little tip before I finish up. When you do your ribbon, when you just want a bow, like a knot, not a bow, right over left, and you tie it. Right, and then I go and back like that, and you get a nice little neat, like, a nice knot. It's like a neat knot, not a squishy knot, and that's nice to lay. So it's like right over left, and then whatever is on your left, again you do the same thing, so it kind of comes up neat and it looks like that, and that finishes off your card. All right, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time. I hope you catch the other classes too. So this is the finished card, one I haven't done properly, but I hope you've enjoyed that and enjoyed the tips that I have shared with you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.